pandemic fundamentally shifts. But what grows is this kind of necessity entrepreneur. We saw a whole class, disproportionately women, disproportionately Black and Hispanic women, starting businesses to try to fill childcare gap, elder care gaps. It was a kind of necessity entrepreneur. They're piecing together it. So there are bright lights in that. There is also a surge in high propensity businesses that were creating businesses that are more likely to employ. But like we have shook how the American economy operates again. And technically we do kind of mirror it. There was a necessity entrepreneur story. And then over time, when I got more options, I then started looking more like a calculated entrepreneur. And that is a kind of privilege that you can only do when you have options. And that's a different story.
Yeah. So you start technically 2009. What was the problem that you were trying to solve? What was the original vision?
I couldn't afford beer is like the initial problem. And like rent, truly, very truly was like, I was doing $50 blog posts and taking landscaping jobs and trying to take plumbing jobs. And I think we see this in the economics literature, like there's a very real scarring in people. Like I think I very truly have a kind of scarring of, oh, this isn't gonna work out. I'm in trouble. Like I very much feel this deep, dark sense of I'm in trouble in that 2009 moment. So square one was like, I gotta figure something out. Now then, when we got outside of ourselves and said, we gotta figure something out, my two friends and I just were like going literally with steno pads and pens to whatever events we could find that we were like loosely interested in this idea that a Silicon Valley thing was showing up in other cities and Philadelphia might have some of it too. And I think our guiding light, which we got right, was talk to people and listen to them enough. Yep. And so in the hundreds of people we listened to, there was a lot of noise and some signal. And some of the signal was, this is in Philadelphia's case, but then other cities over time, this is a great place to live. There are structural reasons why this works well. Right now, you can buy low Philadelphia. There's a lot of cultural assets and housing at that point was disproportionately low. We should buy in and we want to grow the kinds of companies and the kinds of jobs we want to have here. So that was this kind of beautiful flourishing. As much as we were called like nerds or corporatists or whatever, I did view that early tech community of the early 2010s like a music scene that we saw in the 80s. And I think that I get teased about that, but I believe it.
I agree with you. I think people undervalue the impact of the music magazines in Liverpool when the Beatles came out. There's something about media, the magazine in the scene that helps enable these entrepreneurs that are trying to create businesses. Whatever they're trying to create, they're still trying to create something. And to bring it to life and make those connections. That acceleration, I moved to Philadelphia, I want to say 2014, 2013. I get off a plane Tuesday night, Thursday night, I'm going to a Technically Philly event. And it's packed. Mm-hmm. Every startup, founder, person in Philadelphia at that meetup. And I met some great people. What was that journey like then in the 5 years to get to that point?
You're hitting on something that is taking place in different ways around the country sometimes. And so we technically, I identify us as kind of like, we represented a thing that was happening in a lot of regional cities. We were filling a particular gap. And then later we've identified as being a tool to help others do that sort of work. So, right, like we now in the jargon, this is entrepreneurial ecosystem building. But this idea that there's lots of like really interesting literature on the structural holes of innovation, how you get breakthrough ideas, and not like the dog walking app, but also how you do like breakthrough sciences that get to market. So the honest answer is we were very blind, very ignorant, but well-intentioned youngsters who were like listening to people, like interviews at over the over the phone and in coffee shops and at events, and hearing and trusting the people we thought were good faith actors. Not all of them were, but the people who we thought actually had a serious stewardship of a place and were doing interesting work that seemed at times serious to us. And so the journalistic act we were doing was talking to a lot of them and putting that into a narrative form and having a kind of collective dialogue with a community of, is this how we think about this? Yes or no? We were doing a lot of the event organizing then too, and now I think of that as a separate task that others are now well equipped to do. And I'm most interested in how communities think of themselves and how they get challenged. But that journey was convene the people, talk to the people, publish about the people, get feedback on that publishing, and repeat that work again.